Cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90. There we go. So, we are live. We are live. Good morning, CSF Nation. I am Makini 90 Sherman Illustrator. Welcome you to a special Tuesday edition of Makini in the Morning. My apologies for yesterday. I didn't get a chance. I overslept. Basically, I didn't hear my alarm clock go up, so I ended up oversleeping. And that's what we're here for today. We're going to make it up for with a Tuesday special. Now, as you can see here, the work on Morgan is underway. So I'm going to get more of the grayscales done. Get more of some of the grayscales on the hair right now. And then we'll move on to... we'll see if I can get to the contact layer today. We'll probably not. However, but what we're focusing on today, our main focus today is a follow-up to what happened on Sunday regarding Emiru at TwitchCon. Now, there's some more information that I missed out on. I will say more or less I probably likely just missed out on concerning this whole ordeal. And we're going to hear we have a 2-minute, I want to say about a 2-minute interview between Dan Clancy and Taylor Lorenz that basically, what it comes down to is that Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, and Gooning Lord himself, Ultimate Gooner himself, is low-key blaming Emiru for, getting SA'd at TwitchCon. And yes, to anybody who's on TikTok watching this, it is SA. Sorry, I saw a Hero Hayes video, and it's like everybody's blaming, dumbasses on TikTok are blaming, are saying Emiru didn't get SA'd, and blaming her because she's rich and shit like that. And I'm like, you people are sad. You people are just that sad. We may go over Hero Hayes' video, but we're also going to give over some updates from Rev as well, and this might include the whole Collargate scandal as well, because Hassan tried to make this all about himself. But our main focus is just going to be on Dan Clancy blaming Dan Clancy's interview and him blaming Emiru for her getting SA'd at TwitchCon. So yeah, it's crazy power. It's crazy. So anyway, Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, apologize if I missed out on Monday, so hopefully we can make it up today. But if you guys can do me a favor and you really enjoy this, you guys know exactly what to do.
Good morning, CSF Nation. Just a friendly reminder, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle, and smack the subscribe button and make it jiggle. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Ciao!
Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle as well. Again, hope you guys are enjoying the support. Thank you all for the comments on yesterday's some of the community posts I've been making yesterday. Actually, I will make what I'm gonna do. Actually, one of the community posts I make will be a topic for tomorrow's Peak Gaming news roundup. So, anyway. Let's go say hi to everybody in the chat. Power, good morning to you. Tell him good morning to you. I think I might have worked out that Yakumo's role in Ninja Gaiden 4 may not be Ryu's success, but it has to do with leading or helping someone become a leader to claim and vacuum leader for an ally. Okay. Power, yo, and Power has dropped a link. What is this tweet here? Oh, I did not see that. Amaranth and her husband are at TwitchCon cosplaying as Hassan Piker and his dog. I feel like it's ironic. I'm just saying it's kind of ironic. And of course, the drama was for attention, I agree, but yeah, I just find it low-key ironic. Yeah, kind of ironic on that one. Just saying. Yeah, their own drama was all for attention, by the way, so not surprising. All right. Okay, let's go right into it. I do have the full video. This is only going to be 2 minutes, and then we're going to hear a follow-up from Rev, says Desu, as well. So, let's go ahead and switch over to the dual screen. So, for those who do not know what's been going on with Twitch, Twitch is under major fire right now. One of the most popular streamers named Emiru was essayed at TwitchCon this past weekend. This caused a major scandal, and with everybody placing the blame on Twitch for not holding their security accountable, for basically not having the security in the first place, for security not taking care of their attendees at TwitchCon. And I think we can all unanimously agree, and as we go put it this way, that this may end up being the last TwitchCon they ever put out. Now, if you guys didn't watch the whole thing in full, me and Mama Bear did an entire full show breaking down everything that's been going on, including Emiru's statements on Makini Live. If you guys have not checked out that episode, please do so. It's a great watch. If Power can drop a link to Sunday's show, would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, it's definitely recommend check out the full episode of Makini Live on Sunday, where we covered this whole situation from top to bottom. A lot to go over, a whole lot to go over, and a lot of stuff to really good information, stuff like that. So definitely worth checking that out. Now, in the midst of all this, I did miss a couple of things. The first thing, yes, there have been more updates since then. The first thing I do want to bring up is the fact that there was actual footage of the dude who essayed Emiru walking out, like nonchalantly walking out of the convention center in San Diego, which is completely effed up. That Twitch staff has just done nothing to address the situation. So in that sense, I might have to bring in a segment from Pegasus in the greatest series, as well as to cover this whole thing, because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, not only that, one thing that I did miss from Sunday's show is Emiru is Twitch CEO and Gooning Lord Dan Clancy deciding to in an interview with famed journalist Taylor Lorenz. I put that in asterisks. Okay, scratch that. Journalist and Hassan Piker dick rider, Taylor Lorenz. Which she's wearing a mask like it's still 2020. Basically having an interview, and in this 2-minute segment, Dan Clancy is low-key blaming Emiru for basically her getting essayed in that incident. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit, and we're going to watch the full 2-minute interview and see the reactions down below.
And others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get assaulted by a male fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is a top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch, it extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there, okay? It's very different, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. We're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
Demi had posted earlier today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon. Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even journalists have had struggled. It is very secure, but here's this man that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or issues like this have happened?
Well, I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any specifics or details, but part of that is working with creators and, trying to find it. Right now, we're definitely, ramping it up to make sure creators know that we have the resources there to help them figure out what's right for them.
Okay, couple of things. First off, Taylor Lorenz, you are beyond delusional to think that Twitch is that secure at this event. To people put trust in Twitch at this event, you are beyond delusional about that. There have been multiple people, from Asmongold to Hamas Piker to pretty much everybody, saying that they're not going to show up at TwitchCon and they don't even feel safe at TwitchCon being there in the first place. So, Taylor, to think about it, to come out and say that Twitch, everybody should put their trust in Twitch security, you are beyond delusional. And second, the second part, this was not, and this is my addressment to Dan Clancy here, Emiru may have control over kicking people out of her streams, but she has no control over who shows up at the meet and greet. So you are low-key blaming Tona, saying that she's responsible for her community at a live event. It's like, one, she didn't know who the guy was. He came right out of nowhere. And second, just because she's able to control just because she's able to have control or have moderators that can kick people out on her streams doesn't mean that it's going to be the same thing in real life at a live event. And this is where your security has to come into play. So there's no sense of accountability here. Like low-key blaming her for getting essayed on screen. Like, seriously. I feel like this clip right here is enough to say that Dan Clancy doesn't need to step down as Twitch CEO. He needs to be publicly fired. He needs to be publicly fired from Amazon. By Amazon. Like, what happened at TwitchCon is completely abhorrent, and what we saw, and we covered Emiru's video, the freaking gall that Twitch staff, it was one thing that Twitch staff was not even present when that situation happened, and they were caught in 4K basically laughing it off, letting the sexual abuser just up and walk out of the convention, which, by the way, there is footage of him just casually walking out of the convention like it was nothing, nothing was gonna happen. But to have Twitch staff basically see this situation and just laugh it off, Twitch security completely laugh it off, and then later on in Emiru's video, they even said later on, hey, we're gonna make some changes here, we're gonna make some change for safety reasons, would you like to have Twitch security with you for the rest of the event? It's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is honestly disgusting. Like blatantly disgusting, and then this makes the whole situation, and this makes Dan Clancy even worse. And this is not to pile, and this is just another thing to pile on all of the accusations that Twitch is under, all the stuff that Twitch is under fire recently for the Hassan Collargate situation, Dogtober 7th, the favoritism, people getting banned and unbanned and shit like that. It's just absolute insanity. It is just insanity. So let's go into the comment section here. Tectone, zero accountability, infinite excuses. Dan, your own staff did nothing. They laughed it out afterwards. You banned Emmy's only good security guard, and this could have been much worse. And none of your staff did shit. You are a joke, and absolutely agreed. Yeah, the Hassan system, basically, the Emiru response, which is just absolute peak. Honestly, absolute peak. So much so, we did that so much so that I actually ended up having to make a freaking clip on Makini Live. I'll show you the clip real quick. Let me get to my computer, sir. Let me show you the clip, because apparently, that reaction is going to live in infamy right there. That is a legendary reaction, and I turned it into a clip live on stream.
What?
just brilliant. Just brilliant. With the 143, there's a jarring cut. They shot this, so this was cut. This whole interview was cut, too. They shot this at least twice, edited his answer, and used post-processing tools to smooth over his voice. He must have gotten a terrible answer before being coached to give a better one. Taylor Lorenz is not a journalist, but a propagandist. She's a Hassan dick rider too, but in other words, Dan Clancy will continue to let it happen because he's constantly gooning to e-girls on Twitch and Hamas Piker. You see that gooning rank he's got there. And not only this, this is from Planet Jen. Dan Clancy, the Twitch CEO, was busy slamming female creators to care about the TwitchCon situation. Oh, we need to see this.
Alright guys, I am not a trained professional. Don't try this at home.
So that's basically what he was doing. Basically what he was doing while the whole situation went down. Valiant Renegade shot through Valiant Renegade. I can't even take her seriously with that stupid mask on. Yeah, thinking like it's 2020 or some kind of shit. I can't stand this disgusting CEO. All they do is blame shift and victim blame. Yeah, it just goes on. They're getting ripped to shreds. Dan Clancy's getting ripped to shreds, and he needs to step down or just get fired. I feel like stepping down is not good enough. I think he needs to get publicly fired. And I want to do, before we move on, I want to include a reaction from someone who's very close to Emiru, and that is Tectone. Now, Tectone, we're gonna watch a good segment of his video, and we're gonna pick up from we'll watch a good segment of his video, kind of get his responses as a follow-up, because Tectone's video was what got me to see this whole situation. So I learned it straight from him at first.
My PC setup is almost done.
So let me go to the...
Showing the No Kings protest happening with footage from 2017 and a completely unrelated protest.
Let me see if I can find the segment.
Well, it was only a kiss. It was only a full...
Oh, here we go.
News, because we already knew that shit was bought.
And Dream Tabitha, thank you so much for the popcorn super sticker. Much love to you. So definitely got to stream soon.
Now Twitch themselves are looking at you in the eye.
So let me zoom right back. Let me zoom right back.
It didn't happen. It wasn't me.
Oh, here we go.
Hassan doing the exact same thing that he is now considered the status quo. Is probably no surprise to you guys, but there's a lot of fucking liars out there. It's pretty surprising. I'm really not gonna lie. I mean, you see streamers like Valkyrie lying for Hassan. You see QT accidentally telling the truth for Hassan, which was hilarious. You see porn stars like Sasha Grey lying for Hassan, and then she'll see the clip of Hassan doing the exact same thing that he said that he didn't do, and then Sasha Grey will be so scared she'll just close the clip because, God forbid, she consumes information that goes against her beliefs, which we're going to get into a whole bunch of cognitive dissonance later and explain to you guys what that means for anybody who doesn't know. Yeah, and then we have Hassan lying about 108 times. I think that's the number. 108 times in 4 days, I believe, is the number that everybody was counting about how many lies he just looked towards his audience and said, hey, this thing that you saw happen on camera, it didn't happen. It wasn't me. She even got you on camera. Wasn't me. All right, dude. Yes, it was. If you were that woman in that music video, I don't know if you guys are old enough to know that song. If you were that woman in that video, my God, you're retarded. I mean, Jesus. Anyways, that really is the status quo of what's going on Twitch and what's going on with the media. With other news sites showing the No Kings protest happening with footage from 2017 and a completely unrelated protest, trying to make it seem like this whole No Kings protest was a lot more successful and larger than what it is. We have content creators lying, we have the fucking news lying, and even more so, and this one I really had to process. Because deep down, and I want to make this very clear, I don't like being right all the time. It sucks. I'm very rarely wrong, and it doesn't bring me any joy to be right, because the things that I'm talking about are bringing me great frustration. And the thing that I was very frustrated about is even worse than the news, because we already knew that shit was bought. Now Twitch themselves are looking at you in the eye as a retarded consumer and insulting your intelligence and saying, hey, that thing that happened on camera didn't happen. Now, what am I talking about here? In case you don't know, Emiru got sexually assaulted at a con. And a lot of people are trying to just say, well, it was only a kiss. It was only a forced hug and a forced kiss. Like, she didn't die. The point is that she could have. The point is that she could have been very fatally wounded or killed or worse if there is something. I mean, she could have been eaten.
As Power mentioned earlier, there were also reports that the guy who went up, tried to kiss her, put his hands on her and shit like that, yeah, he was supposed to have, and we caught this in the video, it presumed that he had a knife or something sharp in his hand too. So yeah, it could have gone incredibly worse for everyone involved.
I think, I'll be real, out of all the crimes in the world, I think cannibalism is the worst. I think that's the #1 worst crime. I feel like if you've eaten somebody, if you anyways, this is a topic for another day. Yeah, the thing is, something much worse could have happened, and security countermeasures should have been taken, and disciplinary actions should have been taken. And, well, Twitch, you did give the guy a big 30-day ban. I want to remind you that a guy who went up to Emiru and sexually assaulted her got a 30-day ban, where Erob joked about beating someone up at TwitchCon, and he got banned for 30 days. A joke got the same ban as a fucking crime. I want to remind you, me calling Denims a whore and Frogan fat got me banned in total for 30 days.
Basically 2 weeks, but yeah, pretty much. Sorry, just want to add that.
Remind you that Mike from PA literally put a bounty on Destiny's head, and he did not get banned for 30 days. He didn't even get...
Let's add on to the fact that Mike from PA also called a certain ethnicity demonic live on stream, and he was only banned for an entire week, when if it was anybody else, they would be banned permanently, because that is a huge violation against Twitch's terms of service. Sorry, but go on.
I want to remind you that Sean DeBlack literally said he was going to murder Destiny and how he should be fucking brutally slaughtered, and he didn't even get banned. As well as Hassan calling for the death of many different people, and he also did not get banned. Are we starting to notice a problem now? We're going to go a little bit further. So Twitch put out a notice saying, well, guys, we permanently banned them. Not their decision, by the way. That was because it was caught on camera. The clip blew up.
Not only because it was caught on camera, but because they had to reverse their decision from a 30-day ban to a permanent one, because Emiru's manager, shout out to Emiru's manager had to pester them about it. Don't you guys understand? First of all, what was the point of getting a Twitch ban for SA? You let him walk out the door. You should have called the police immediately afterwards. So Emiru is pressing charges on the dude who SA'd her, sexually assaulted her. Emiru is planning to press charges against that guy. And honestly, if I were Emiru and everybody else is saying this, she needs to sue Twitch. She needs to sue Dan Clancy and Twitch. Because this is because what is going on here counts as negligence.
Emiru's manager, God bless their soul, held them accountable and said, you are going to take these disciplinary actions and you are going to permanently ban this fucking loser. And so they have. They put in a note saying the person was apprehended and is currently being dealt with by the authorities. No, they weren't.
No.
Okay? No, they weren't. And the reason why we know they weren't is because we literally saw footage of this guy lackadaisically walking at a very relaxed pace out of TwitchCon with nobody restraining him, because just like the last security guard, well, if you do your job properly, you're gonna lose your job promptly. Welcome to Twitch.tv. It's great.
Emeru's favorite, and she mentioned this in the interview, she mentioned this on stream, her favorite bodyguard was permanently banned off of Twitch for detaining a stalker and holding him until the police actually arrived. Emeru's favorite bodyguard was permanently banned from Twitch for doing his job. And apparently the security guard who came in real quick and pushed that dude off of Emiru, pretty much saving her life, apparently he was fired. Like, what the hell?
I also love how many of your employees I talk to Twitch that even think that you yourself are retarded because you aren't allowing your own employees, your own moderators, to do their jobs. And even they are like, fuck. Okay, so Hassan Denims and all these fucking people are actively slandering all these people. You called them fat, all right? So you're going to get banned for 2 weeks. And now what are we going to do for you? Ooh. We're just going to tell you to ignore them because for some reason the higher-ups at Twitch are protecting these fucking bozos. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Twitch literally put out a public statement that is completely falsified.
Yes, it is.
It was debunked in minutes. None of them put out an apology. None of them corrected the wrong they did. They looked you in the eye. They spit in your face and they said, hey, you're going to believe this story. Guys, I mean this on my whole soul, on everything. There are so many people.
Okay, so Ronnie G, her former bodyguard, her former bodyguard was permanently banned at TwitchCon, and for stopping a previous incident, for basically holding a stalker until the police arrived, which was good on him. He was permanently banned off of Twitch, off the TwitchCons as such. The bodyguard that was there at the time, that pushed that dude off of Emiru, apparently he was fired, which is completely effed up. Like, that dude needs to be that dude deserves to be compensated. Like, that dude deserves some kind of raise or something like that. And to whoever that security guard is, dude, if you ever reveal who you are dude, you're gonna get supported for life. I'm just saying, man. So to whoever that bodyguard was during that weekend, good on you, man. Seriously, good on you. So I hope you get compensated or something, man.
Lying to you, it is insane.
More people need to hire you as their security guard. I'm serious.
And other content creators from their side won't tell you to do this. I highly recommend that you approach everything that you consume with a degree of skepticism. I highly recommend that you look for proof or evidence for anything that you hear. So important, because there are so many people looking at you in the face and lying. It is insane. And by the way, I just want to address this. Whether you like or don't like Destiny, and obviously, you know, I tried to get along with Destiny. It didn't work too well, okay? But just because I don't fuck with Destiny at all doesn't mean that I can't acknowledge that Bro has been actively threatened for and called for the death of multiple times blatantly, and no one calling for the death of this man has ever been punished. And I don't care who you are. I'm not going to call for the death of you ever. It's just not good. It's not a good thing to do. Now, I might tell you to kill yourself, but that's not a threat. That's just a suggestion. Way different. It is. It really is. And people need to understand that there's a big difference between a gamer saying, "Yeah, bro, kill yourself," like in fucking League of Legends, versus I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to fucking slaughter you. There's a very big difference. There is. Because one is a suggestion, and the other one is telling you, these are the actions that I'm going to do. Man, It really is odd. And the more, and I mean this genuinely, the more you are aware of what's going on in the world, the more that you are aware of these people that are lying, the more that these people will try to discredit the people telling the truth. I mean, I want you to look at Nux Haku for an example. Nux Haku got his entire career temporarily destroyed, which he bounced back from because he's one of the goats. God bless you, Nux. The amount,
bro, Nux is back and stronger than ever. You can't keep the blues. You can't keep the blue Jew down. I watched Nuxador. I watched his political stuff. Nuxador, his channel, bro. He is not holding back, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
The misinformation put out on this guy is insane. I mean, dude, I get told that Nux is a pedophile daily, and I'm like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? Just complete misrepresentations of the truth. And I mean this genuinely. Nux has always been good to me, and I'm a guy who's always going to have the back of my friends. However, I will also be the first guy to hold my friends accountable. Like, for example,
this is diabolical.
Sorry, I got something in my eye. I was the first guy to call it Asmongold a massive fucking pussy when he uses big fat Bill and Elden Ring because he's not good enough to beat the game any other way. Anyways, just think about how much misinformation is put out on Asmongold as well, or even legal mindset, you know, or even me. I'm sure everybody at a point of watching my videos has probably seen me be accused of doing the worst crimes on planet Earth.
And by the way, I just wanted to reiterate this. I just want to first a statement to anybody who thinks that I'm just like, because I post, because we react to a lot of Zach Asmongold a lot. I don't want to completely agree with him on everything. Okay, I made that statement point that I do enjoy his content, but doesn't mean I don't completely agree with him on everything. Same goes for Tectone. Same goes for anybody else. Me personally, I think Zach is completely wrong in believing that Hassan is a good person, which is so blatantly obvious he's not.
Guys, I'm whoa, camera almost fell down. Getting a little bit gusty here in San Antonio. I want to remind you that there was even rumors that I killed people. Yes, there was even a point in time where people thought I was.
Anyway, we're just gonna add. I just want to get to cover that Emiru segment, but I want to get to a follow up. This one is coming from. This one's coming from Restless Desu, and I want to go to the Emiru section on this video.
Social enforcement. Like, I do not think that there would be a rape tone style content creator.
Of course, he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
Well, that's actually a good point. I forgot. Twitch used to literally ban partners for harassing other partners. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that right now? Think about that. That would be like 90% of top content creators would be banned off the platform if that was still enforced to any degree.
Yep, sounds about right. So he's coming up with his own little theory here. About
May not have. I strongly disagree with Asmon on that, on Hassan being a good person. But Jesus or not.
Clout chasing and how the social structure of Hassan and his circle used to weed people like Tectone out. It's all projection, and it's all just, again, hammering away at accusations to label someone as guilty without even hearing any of the evidence or any charges. All that stuff completely missing, but it's enough for Hassan to feel comfortable enough accusing someone of a heinous crime. But let's go back to TwitchCon. So we talked about TwitchCon over the past 2 days. So it's been underway in San Diego. I actually just wrapped up last night. And there's been a lot going on. People, male and female, claiming to be sexually assaulted during this convention. And the main thing people are talking about is Emiru, a very popular streamer who was assaulted live on stage. This is the clip. Guy just walks in and just grabs her and tries to kiss her. And it's been an absolute mess. Twitch came out with a statement. They were hit with a note because they try to claim that they followed through on everything and were cooperating and everything's been handled, but in reality, the dude literally just casually
nonchalantly nonchalantly walks out of the convention like it was
Make
nothing.
things even weirder. He received a 30-day ban on Twitch initially. I believe it's permanent now because Emiru spoke out against it. But they knew who this guy
Imeru's manager pestered them, basically.
was. They knew enough to find his Twitch account and ban him for 30 days. But they didn't, number one, permaban him, at least initially. And also, they didn't file anything with local law enforcement.
No.
I mean, what are we doing? This is an absolute mess. But then again, you start looking around at the leadership. Mr. Dan Clancy, who's always thinking about the safety of women at his events. This clip, I cannot get enough of this clip. It makes me laugh every single time. What is old man doing here? What? He just yeets this girl. Like, what are we even doing?
What is...
But there was someone else who came out and questioned Dan Clancy because he had an open Q&A the other day, and this streamer, American Dad, a veteran, by the way, would ask him some hard questions, mainly pertaining to comments made by Hassan Piker, as well as some of his orbiters like Frogan, and basically saying, as a veteran, why are you allowing these things to happen on your platform? And here was Dan Clancy's answer to that question.
Hello, Dan. I've been streaming on Twitch for 9 years. I've been a partner for a long time. But another thing that I am is I'm a U.S. veteran, served in the Army, deployed to Afghanistan. Veterans are a protected group on Twitch. So I was just wondering, I've heard comments about the United States deserve 9/11, PTSD, veterans deserve that. When are we going to start holding other streamers accountable for stuff like that, regardless of social status?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate what you've done and all that. And you use certain examples, and some of those examples led to enforcement, right? It's always a very tricky process. Because part of what we need to do is have a set of community guidelines, and we do have a team that works very hard to consistently apply them. The views of individuals aren't necessarily the views of our platform. We're at a time where people sometimes can talk in hyperbole, right? Unfortunately, and this happens on all sides of the political spectrum. And so that's something that. We have our guidelines. We apply them consistently. I understand.
I'm sorry. I have to stop. I have to stop for 1 second. Because he's saying it was in hyperbole. Okay, so Dan, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you just one simple question. Explain to me what was hyperbolic about this.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. The U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
And she stuffs her face full of food afterwards. So please, Dan, I'm just out of curiosity here. What was in hyperbole about that statement? I'm curious. What was in hyperbole about that statement? Because it sounds like you're just deflecting. It sounds like you're not even answering the question at all.
And you may disagree with some of those decisions, right? And I always say one of the nice things about Twitch is it's a platform where if you disagree with the views of somebody, it's not appearing in your feed, it's not appearing in what you're doing, it has nothing to do with your experience. And that's not necessarily true with short form content. There's all sorts of stuff that appears in my feed. And so part of this is trying to make sure you can find what is the right experience for you on Twitch, both as a streamer and also as a community.
Thank you for answering. I mean, you can see the squirming, right? This guy was ducking any chance of a real answer to this man's question. Dan Clancy is afraid to answer what's being asked here because the truth makes him look bad. and the push to have something happen here with Dan Clancy in this platform, which, as I stated the other day, which is still not profitable, something's got to be done. Like, this guy is running this company into the ground, and he can't even answer basic complaints from people who have an interest as a veteran, a protected status, or what's supposed to be a protected status on Twitch, which is not protected, because people like Frogan can say they deserve PTSD, Hassan can say America deserved 9/11, all these crazy things, and it goes completely unchecked. And of course, Dan Clancy doesn't want to answer anything because it makes him look bad. In fact, here's a clip from TwitchCon where Dan Clancy's talking to this guy, and I can't play it because it's got copyrighted music in the background, but basically this guy implies that the CEO of Kick needs to be fired upon, I guess is a way of saying it. And when he hears that, Dan Clancy dabs him up. What?
What?
It's absolutely insane behavior. It's coming from the top. It's not just these streamers who say...
You know what? I'm gonna play it again. Where's my clip? Where's my clip? I'm gonna play it again. I'm just gonna play it again. That clip will never get old. That clip will never get old.
Crazy stuff. He's responding to crazy stuff, and seemingly he's like very celebratory of hearing these sorts of insane comments, these violent comments coming from people on his platform. In fact, he seems to have energy for that, but as pointed out here, some people who are Twitch partners went on their Prime Video channel and said simply, "Free Kaya." Let's bring it back to Hassan, and they would be timed out. Interesting. On top of that, there's an
from the bed to the TV, Kaya will be free.
Another clip making the rounds this morning, where a Twitch partner at TwitchCon who attended is calling for a civil war in the United States. This is the stuff that goes on at Twitch. This person will not receive any punishment. I mean, they were literally trying to egg on and push for a civil war.
She looks like a psycho. She looks like a complete psycho.
In the United States. And they just freely attend TwitchCon and are a partner on the platform. It's absolutely crazy. But we see some interactions here between Asmongold and Legal Mindset, where basically Asmongold saying it's crazy that Twitch just lied about protecting creators from sexual violence. And there's a video that proves they're not upholding their end of their bargain of what they're trying to claim. And the fact that an Amazon-owned company actively tried to cover up an assault should be a bigger story than it is. And I believe that...
I agree 1,000% on that.
Massive scandal.
They're trying to cover this up.
An Amazon-owned company that generates billions of dollars, but no profit, by the way, had a situation like this happen where they're trying to actively cover up an assault live on Twitch, and they're just no one cares because I guess it doesn't fit whatever agenda some of these journalists and what have you want to cover. But Legal Mindset says just had a nice chat with a friendly Amazon employee over dinner. They made it clear that Jeff Bezos is more interested in competing with Elon Musk over the size of his rocket rather than policing Twitch. So legal action may be the only option, which is a very sad reality.
It is
Let's
sad.
go back to Hassan for a second, because the rhetoric has not slowed down. In fact, his rhetoric has gotten even more dangerous and slanderous.
All right, so we'll wrap that. Listen, I got one more video. Because this was hilarious to me. We're just kind of going through like quick fire segments here because just listen. For those who are not, I am being kept up with the whole Collargate scandal. Okay, I am kept up with Dogtober 7th. It's just there's a lot to go over. you know, for my quickfire thoughts, Pokimane to me just comes off as slimy. Valkyrie comes off as spineless. And Sasha Grey just comes off as completely disingenuous and dishonest. Because when you're making that statement, and then the facts are shown right in front of you, you decide to, like, we're not gonna watch that. I'm like, why should anybody take what you say seriously? Why should anybody take your opinion seriously then? Like, for real. You missed a lot. Anyway. So, we're gonna cover this from Hero Hey, because apparently people on TikTok and Power said also on Twitter are they don't believe that Emiru wasn't sexually assaulted. Yeah.
Freakazoid of a person. And you know how terribly this reflected on Twitch and Twitch CEO Dan Clancy and the terrible statements that Twitch made to try and like damage control this, and then Emiru came forward with more information about how Twitch was doing I was going to say next to nothing to protect her and to go after the dude who did this, but I think it'd be more accurate to say that they did nothing until Emiru actually, or Emiru's manager really pressed the issue, and then they finally did something apparently, you know, according to the information that we have. So that was yesterday. Hopefully you saw my video on that or someone else's video. There's been a lot of great coverage from great channels out there. And today, it's only getting worse for Twitch. So let's get started on the updates. Here we have Twitch CEO Dan Clancy getting asked why streamers should trust Twitch security after TwitchCon, after what happened to Emiru. Well, the answer is, I mean, you clearly can't trust them. Obviously.
You can't.
According to Emiru, they were even like laughing instead of catching the dude at first. So it's going to be pretty amusing to see how Dan Clancy is going to try and spin this.
Now, what happened yesterday?
Elizabeth, you're better. Elizabeth, you're better than me. You're way better than me. We covered this on Sunday. Like, we did a full deep dive on that. Me and Mama Bear did a full deep dive of the whole Emiru situation on Sunday. Watched Emiru's response. Went through all the details and everything. Today is basically a follow-up, because there were some things that I missed, and plus there were some more updates to the situation at TwitchCon.
It obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. You know, we're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done, because that's the world we live in now.
Demi posted earlier today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at
Hey,
TwitchCon.
Penny.
Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even like journalists have struggled. Like, you know, it is very secure, but here's this fan that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or, you know, issues like this have happened?
Well, I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, you know, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any, you know, specifics or details, but part of that is working with creators and, you know, trying to find it. Right now, we're definitely, you know, ramping it up and make sure creators know that we have the resources there to help them figure out what's right for them.
So we got two wonderful people here. We got Twitch CEO Dan Clancy and disgraced journalist Taylor Lorenz, who has a terrible reputation. She's the sort of journalist who's like a large part of why people don't trust and dislike journalists nowadays, and that's been the case for a number of years now. And even the other day, she actually made her reputation even worse because she went on record making a video defending Hassan and completely misrepresenting the facts that people have about the abuse that Kai has been receiving. And she went on to say that all the people criticizing Hassan are essentially just crazy conspiracy theorists, I think is the way she put it. And she's actually framing this as, Twitch does do a lot for security. She actually stood up for Twitch in the middle of that clip. She's trying to say that it was a very secure event.
I feel like simultaneously,
Yeah, she is delusional. She is delusional, like completely delusional.
Yeah, I'd love to know how she's defining secure event, because from what we've seen, that doesn't look to be the case. And I totally get that a lot of security at events like this are volunteer. So for one, a lot of them are not getting paid, or they're getting paid extremely low, if at all. And two, they're limited in what they can do by Twitch's policies. But that doesn't excuse Twitch and all their funding at an event this large from not having a bigger presence of actual hired professional security. They should have done that. It seemed like they didn't. And let me play this part back because I think...
And the whole thing was that it was clear that Emiru was basically being used as merchandise for TwitchCon because of the whole, you know, her having to obligate to do this meet and greet, because if she didn't, she wouldn't be able to do her show at TwitchCon. So apparently that was the case. Once again, but still, you know, props to Emmy for going back out there and continuing the meet and greet, and she was able to do her show afterwards. It's just...
This actually makes Dan Clancy look terrible.
I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there.
So he fully acknowledges the danger of putting yourself out there, especially for a high-profile streamer like Emiru. And then what did they do to protect her? He acknowledges that. What did they do to protect her? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing though.
Her own private security, who again was greatly limited in what they even allowed that.
Yeah, she's a partner
they
too.
Wouldn't even allow her to bring back her favorite security guard, as we've mentioned multiple times now. But it does bear repeating when this dude's actually sitting here saying that he understands the risks, and they still treat her like this. For some more context about this interview, by the way, according to my recollection, Taylor actually had this scheduled with Dan Clancy to be like a general Twitch interview before the Emiru incident even occurred. And knowing these sort of journalists, I wouldn't be surprised if she's like actually happy about this incident because now it makes her interview that much more compelling for people to actually watch. And maybe she's trying to like hide her gleeful smile behind that mask, and that's why she's wearing it. I say that in half jest, by the way, but like, no, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually was the case. Now, as for Dan Clancy, going back to him, he referred to Emiru as a friend, or even like a close friend. I think he was saying something like that. It just makes me think of that classic saying of like, who needs enemies when you have friends like these or whatever? Because like, if that's how he treats a close friend, or even a friend, I mean, doing nothing to protect her and then taking no accountability at all, just deflection after deflection. It's really impressive how bad of a statement this all is from Dan.
It is a horrible statement.
The next part of the interview that I'm going to show you actually came before the part that we just watched. It's what led into that part. So I really should have started with this, but yeah, I kind of messed up during recording. My bad. But just keep that in mind.
Now, Elizabeth, be nice. Taylor Lorenz is only a Hassan Dick rider, and she's turning 143 this year. So just be nice to her. Be nice to your elders.
One streamer yesterday, Emiru, got assaulted by a male fan, and a lot of streamers, especially female streamers, talked about the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay, it's very different. When I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me.
So she asks about the concern that people have about coming to TwitchCon, a real live event, obviously.
Yeah.
Event. And he starts talking about like banning people from your chat to like control your community. What does that have to do with a real in-person event and the dangers that people can face going to TwitchCon? I don't even understand what he's getting at here. Like, I'm
it's like like I said, this the thumbnail suggests. With that statement alone, it really sounds like he just threw Emiru under the bus. He completely just threw Emiru under the bus. Like, Lowkey blaming her for getting SA. She has no control over who shows up at the shows up at the meet and greet. Like, it's very disingenuous, man. It's a very disingenuous statement to make.
This logic, obviously everyone watching this video understands, something that Dan Clancy apparently doesn't. Banning someone from your Twitch chat does nothing to stop that person from potentially taking action against you in real life.
Exactly.
It's literally not the same thing at all.
No,
And
it's
while
not.
Dan Clancy is handling all of this terribly, we at least have some good updates here from Emiru.
Literally been stabbed yesterday.
She could have been.
Literally, like. I have also seen people asking if I'm like taking.
There were people were making some reports and people were looking into it that it seems that the dude who sexually assaulted Emiru may have had something sharp in his hand, such as like a knife, or some people were speculating a pen or something like that. And we could have had a situation happen with Irina Zaritska in Charlotte. Like, dude, it could have gotten worse. It couldn't have gotten worse. As in, Emiru wouldn't be here right now if that wasn't the case.
Any type of legal action. I am pressing charges against the guy with the police. As for anything else, I don't know yet because I've been having my.
And I do believe in the whole the whole cosplay. Just because you can be just because you can be like near cosplay doesn't mean you can be, up on him like that. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, yeah, there are boundaries, especially at events.
Manager handle all of those like side conversations. So I
Yeah, so that guy's probably royally screwed. I mean, he's on camera assaulting her. She's gonna press charges. He'll probably get sentenced. It seems like, what's this saying? All but a guarantee at this point. The next question, of course, is Emiru going to sue Twitch? We'll talk about that a little bit more. First, let's play the next clip.
I don't think that Twitch would have put out an official statement if that clip wasn't posted and going viral. And even after the fact that that clip was posted and going viral, as far as I know, the other people who had meet and greets today were not reached out to ask if they wanted extra security or if they even wanted to cancel their meet and greet. Like, maybe some people were, but I know for a fact Extra Emily wasn't. My personal manager made sure that she had extra security. No one reached out to her. Don't know about everyone, but I know that for a fact.
So we don't know for sure yet. And it sounds like her manager is really handling the majority of this stuff, and Emiru isn't too involved yet, but I don't blame her. This literally just happened. She's gonna need some time to collect her thoughts. Maybe she's still in a bit of disbelief about all this. And very important to note, she's still at the event. So it's not like she's home yet, and she can like really have like a relaxed environment to assess all this and come to a decision. She's still at the event. So when she is able to, I do hope she becomes a little bit more active and doesn't just like fully rely on the manager to handle the situation.
No.
And at this point in time, I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. We'll see what happens if she maybe ends up even hiring a lawyer, not to press litigation right away.
I think she needs to.
Positive action to go after Twitch for. There's a lot of ways that this can get handled. So we'll just have to wait.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways this can handle, but I think she needs to go. I think he needs to lure her up because this could be counted as negligence.
To be held accountable because clearly there's been multiple points of failure for this to have even happened in the first place. And again, forgive me if I'm just rambling in circles. But I do also want to say, there's a lot of people that work at Twitch that are lovely, amazing, creative people. It's not them, but there's definitely multiple people that their failure allowed this to happen. Multiple people, for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Like, I'm looking at her chat, and everybody's saying, like, sue Twitch. Yeah.
Head of Amazon to talk to my manager and my security guard today.
That's actually really interesting. So many people, myself included, wonder, with all the like terrible stuff that Twitch has done, why Amazon doesn't seem to ever get involved and ever like take action to an extent against Twitch and like get them to act more professionally. I'm referring to things like their double standards where they ban someone for like a mean word for weeks, but they let other streamers like promote actual terrorism and
calls to violence.
They promote that person. And the worst thing that ever happened to that person is they gave him like a 1-day ban on his time off. I'm of course referring to Hassan and my recollection of how Twitch
gets banned on his day off of streaming. You can't make this up.
just treated Hassan disproportionately favoring him in comparison to other streamers. The point is, as mentioned, so many people wonder, like, how has Amazon not done anything about this yet?
Because they don't care.
It's very interesting to know that in this situation, one of Amazon's top executives is actually flying out to talk to Emiru about what happened. And that's just what we know.
So Amazon executive is going
to too, and that she shared with us. Maybe that person's also going to grill Dan Clancy about this. Who knows?
But yeah, we're gonna do our show with Will and Baby No Money. We're gonna try to have fun. During it, I know a lot of you guys are still mad, but I prefer if we could just not talk about it, just like focus on the show. Yeah, I have to head over.
Now, unfortunately, this is a follow-up video that I need to add. I want to see because you gotta love this. You gotta love this. So this is from Hero Hey again. I realize I got the wrong video, but still a good video regardless. But where's the Hero? Where is the Hero Hey? Where is it? Where is it? Is it freaks? Oh, this one right here.
Believe it or not, we've actually got freaks on TikTok celebrating what happened to Emiru. And yeah, I'm sure you can believe TikTok would be like that.
Yeah, of course it
all
is.
Begins with this clip, this 1-minute clip. And then we'll take a look at the responses to this clip where, as mentioned, these freaks are literally celebrating Emiru getting assaulted at TwitchCon. They're saying stuff like, oh, she deserved it because she's rich. And maybe I'm wrong, but whenever I see really dumb virtue signaling takes like that, I just can't help but get the impression that the people who make those takes are actually very sheltered and privileged themselves. And they're just full of self-hate or something and trying to deflect. But let me know what you think about that. And now we'll get the context by watching that 1-minute clip.
Really grateful for the way that things are now. And things are honestly better than I ever thought that they could be. And sometimes there's things in your life or people in your life that, you know, maybe they're not good for you. And sometimes maybe you have to make those choices to take those people out of your life so you can make room for the people that are right for your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And
you can tell she's like,
it's important to never give up this whole year.
Yeah, you can tell she's like still shaken up from this though.
I've taken a couple breaks, but I never wanted to quit or stop going. I was like, I have to keep going no matter what, because I'm so lucky and because it's what makes me happy. You can never give up no matter how people treat you or what you're going through, because you'll be able to look back and be proud of yourself even if it's hard in the moment.
So that clip comes from an RV trip that she was doing, I believe, right before TwitchCon.
Oh, that was right before TwitchCon, okay.
She got assaulted there. And then after the assault, she went on to address what happened, but also briefly talked about that clip from the RV that we just watched. So now I'll play the clip of her addressing the RV clip some more.
So that was before, okay.
That. And then we'll hop back over to TikTok and take a look at the pathetic comments.
I didn't really get a chance to talk about it because of, you know, all the things that were happening, but I kind of wanted to apologize for, some people were talking about the clip of me getting kind of emotional at the end of the RV trip. That shit kind of just slipped out, but there's a lot of things that I haven't wanted to talk about that I think I will probably be talking about when I get home from TwitchCon.
Mm-hmm.
So, just wanted to let you guys know about that. Yeah.
So there you go. That's more context into the RV clip. And of course, in that statement, she also addressed what happened to her at TwitchCon, even mentioning how Amazon was flying out the global head of communications to talk to her manager and security guard about the incident. And I presume the exec is also going to talk to her about it.
The executives, yeah.
But yeah, consider watching my video from yesterday if you haven't seen more of her statement there where she addresses that stuff, or videos from other channels going over her statement there too, because lots of people have done a great job covering it. But with all that context now, we can return to the TikTok RV clip, and this time go to the very, unfortunate comment section there. Very lacking individuals in the comment section there. We can see this user, Coma, is actually calling out the
here we
users
go.
in the comment section, saying, no way people are downplaying her assault just for her having money. How delusional can people be?
Yes, they
And
are.
that got a response from user Bitter Gourd, who says, it's like someone touches you gently. It suddenly becomes assault as long as you scream. Another user...
He came up to her, unannounced, grabbed her, practically grabbed her, lifted her, and tried to kiss her. Tried to forcibly kiss her. Okay? This is not a someone touches you gently and become an assault, and it becomes assault, Bitter Gourd. Like... You know what? I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Do it again.
What?
They're saying, watch the clip. The dude was really trying to kiss her when he was pushed away. He pulled up a folding knife. And then Bitter Gourd says, give link. We saw like 3 videos. All is just hugging. So yeah, no, it wasn't
It's just hugging.
hug. This dude came up to her. He just full on grabbed her, like pulled her in. It seemed like he was trying to kiss her. And then I think he actually took Emmy's pen from her as well. Who knows what he would have done next if he didn't get pushed away right after that. So yeah, he didn't pull a knife. I think he might have had a knife on him, though, is what some people were saying, too, like, on his belt. Someone was saying, like, a Leatherman or something. And obviously, like, even if it was just a hug, which it wasn't, you can't just, like, go up to strangers and force a hug onto them either,
Exactly.
obviously. But Bitter Gourd apparently doesn't get that. But it gets worse. This user, Noah, says, SA is a SA. Anyone here trying to downplay because she's rich? Brokey, stop whining and get your money up. I have money, but I don't know what to do with it. Don't know what to do with my life, excuse me. I have multiple problems. Money doesn't mean you're for sure happy. And then this person, Al, says, what do you mean, SA? It wasn't sexual and it wasn't assault. What are you talking about? Dude, he hugged her. It was cringe and uncalled for, but relax. He deserves a scolding and therapy, not a destroyed life. What the frick is going on? And then Bitter Gourd returns and says, not being happy is one thing. Acting scared and trying to destroy other people's life while fake attention on stream is crazy work. These people...
What?
are actually insane. They feel like they don't feel bad for Emiru, they feel bad for the dude who assaulted her. I mean, like, I'm laughing out of disbelief right now. How the frick are people like this? Maybe they're trolling or something, but it doesn't even actually seem like troll comments. It seems like they're serious and they're just morons. Like, imagine siding with the frickin' assaulter and saying that guy's the victim. Just insane. And then we got this other comment from this person, Baha, that says, she acting like dude had a gun. Bro just wanted to kiss her cheek, laughing emoji. User Callie calls him out saying he was literally forcing a kiss. Baha says, on the cheek. It didn't hurt her. Such an overreaction. And all you simps should be ashamed of yourselves.
$70, $60, $50, $40, $30, $20, retard.
Continue.
And Darcy says, there's a thing called consent. And Boss says, agreed, but it was only a kiss. And bro didn't connect. She literally didn't get hurt. Now she sat in a closet crying like someone just tried to shoot her, laughing emoji again. This dude actually says he understands consent. but tries to excuse the assault against Emiru because it was just a kiss, he says. So like, no, he clearly doesn't understand that. And then of course, as we already went over, the RV clip occurred before the TwitchCon assault. So this is something completely unrelated. But this guy is actually getting mad at something that he doesn't even properly understand. Nevertheless, even if he did understand that, I don't think it would really change what he's saying. This is clearly someone who's defending the assault, and they think that was like totally fine or whatever. But it's just like icing on the cake that they're also misconstruing what's going on in this clip. And then we've also got this person.
I just want to remind everybody that 8 days ago, a Korean TikToker was murdered by a deranged fan who gave her $70,000. I just want everybody to remember that. Yeah,
you got 415 likes by posting, "How can I be a victim today?" And the user I know saying she literally got assaulted. This other person, Timo, saying by someone trying to hug her. And then there's this comment, got 130 likes by posting, "Oh, this poor multimillionaire." And someone says, "So if you win the lottery, it's cool if people do whatever with you?" And they respond by saying, "If I win a lottery, I won't have made my money from literally begging people online and acting in front of a camera and making all my life public." Right below.
Serious?
I got nothing. I got nothing.
That another user saying, "Work? All she does is turn on her PC, by the way." So hold on a second. Does she beg people online, or does she simply turn on her PC and do nothing else? We got like two different headcanons going on here. And this comment with 792 likes says, "Being rich, wah." Response saying, "We can't be sad about almost getting assaulted because we rich, chat." Someone else saying, "Money does not equal easy life." And then this user saying, "Being rich and beautiful must be so tough." You can just feel the insecurity from this comment section. Like, you can actually feel it through the screen. It's impressive. Look at this one. Person Amy says, "Do y'all think people turn into emotionless robots when they get rich or what?" We've got two responses at the end there that say they pretty much do, and yes, it's all show. These are the exact sort of people who, if they suddenly had the exact same net worth as Emmy, would instantly start shifting the goalposts. Suddenly they'd be saying that, well, that's not what rich is. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely rich people out there who do very corrupt things, for sure. But my point is, these sort of like whiny virtue signalers are 99% of the time just complete hypocrites and love shifting goalposts whenever it's convenient for them. And then we just got like a speed run here of ridiculous takes. Starting with the person who thinks an RV restroom looks like a confession booth. They say, "Bruh, no way she propped up her camera in what seems like a confession booth just to record this." And then the next one saying, "They tried to hug me, wham." And similarly, "Bro, you got hugged, it's not that deep."
What? Ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to fucking God, I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
That's just my response, okay? That's just my response.
So again,
this is my
people
reaction.
who think they're so smart, being completely wrong about the context of the RV clip. They think that Emmy is responding to the assault in that clip when, as we already talked about way earlier in the video, we know that RV clip happened before the Twitch incident and is about something else entirely. Emmy's actual response to what happened is of course what she posted on Twitter, and then what she later on said in that empty room at TwitchCon that they gave her for her to address her stream about the incident. before she then, moments later, went on and performed at her event. Yet these people diminish how well she's handling this and all the work that she's doing because of their own misconceptions and their own insecurities. And I can understand why some people might be a bit confused here, because the TikTok account that posted the RV clip did so right around the same time that the assault happened. But it's pretty telling how the people leaving these hate comments about what they incorrectly think is her response to TwitchCon won't even take the time to be sure that they actually understand what they're getting upset about. Anyways, yeah, I think that's about enough of TikTok comments for me, man. There's plenty more that I could read and like make this video even longer, but I think I'm good on that.
I think we're good.
People are crazy. Let me know what you think about all these comments.
I think
As
we're
always,
good.
thank you for tuning in.
I think we're good. What? Just oh, I love it. Just brilliant, man. Just brilliant, man. I don't know what else to tell you right now. Oh no. Oh man. Oh, Pokemon. Some angry fans apparently. Oh no. Listen, this is Tap this live. Twitch CEO is a goofball. Yeah. I think Twitch CEO needs to be publicly fired. I think Twitch's CEO needs to be publicly fired. I think they need a public firing. Not stepping down. They need to be publicly fired. That is my personal belief on that. And that's also okay. Yeah. So yeah. So we're gonna spend the rest of we're gonna spend the last 20 minutes just getting the grayscales done, getting the base grayscales done. So I'm doing reverse. I'm doing like this reverse. No. I think he needs to be publicly like fired publicly by like Amazon's like CEO. Yeah, because I think stepping down just simply isn't enough, and the fact that they're trying to downplay this scandal makes it even that much worse. So I'm doing a reverse. I'm basically doing the reverse kind of like shading method where I start off as a black, or I start off with the shade, and then what I do is really the fuck. Ricky almost got killed at last year's event. Holy shit. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. It is... That is crazy. So, here's the thing. So, what we're gonna do on tomorrow's on tomorrow's Peak Gaming News Roundup, we're gonna cover the whole like Ghost of Yotei, the whole thing with Sucker Punch saying that, you know, Ghost of Yotei's DLC will depend on community feedback, and then I made that community post about that. We're also gonna cover a Capcom developer trying to defend Nintendo and saying that Power World doing better than Nintendo is a war crime. Which, I was like, excuse me, what? We're gonna cover that, too. Just... No, I start off with the shade. I start off with the shade color. I start off with the shade color, and then what I do is I start erasing, basically. I start erasing. It's like kind of like a reverse shading, basically. It goes back to Mick. It always yes, he barely called a long-time Capcom. I would say a legend at Capcom. Basically equated Power World's success to Pokemon a war crime. Like, this shouldn't exist. Like, Power World should be like so competition apparently is a war crime to you, right? I saw a DB cover this. I was like, this is stupid. Like, are you stupid? Because Pokemon ZA, Pokemon Legends ZA is getting ripped through the shreds right now. Okay? Pokemon Legends ZA is getting ripped to shreds right now. And there are already, like, viral posts of, like, comparing this to comparing Pokemon's graphics to Power World. And it's like, yeah, it's damning evidence, man. Pokemon Legends ZA looks half-assed. Looks like they did not give a damn. And they're just riding it off a name alone in an install base, you know? Like, you would think that, you know, Nintendo, Pokemon Company, Game Freak would have a little more, you know, would actually put a little more effort into their, Pokemon titles. War crimes, exactly. Excuse me, what? I'm like, bro, I'm okay, we'll cover that tomorrow. But, no, so I saw that, like, Sucker Punch, there was a news story saying that Sucker Punch was going to do DLC for Ghost of Yotei if there was actual fan demand for it. And it sounds like, what it sounds like is the game didn't do as well as you guys wanted it to do. And I saw, when I was watching kind of like Smash JT, I watched Smash JT's video yesterday, and he was covering this article from Game Informer that was interviewing Erika Ishii, and I said in the comments that I believe, now this is my personal belief, that the glazing that we're seeing with Ghost of Yotei is nothing but a warm-up. It is a warm-up, because I guarantee you, we're going to see a lot of media glazing, and in some cases, a lot of coping for Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet, Neil Cuckman's newest magnum opus. We're going to see a lot of media spin and a lot of media glazing. I guarantee you with that, okay? I think with, now look, Digimon's game is better too, exactly. Digimon is a superior game too. The newest Digimon game is better too. Like, I just think it's stupid, man. I just think it's really stupid. I just think it's stupid, man. Like, I can't believe that. And we'll probably have some more gaming news too. Now, there's a whole, damn, people are mad. Okay, so, apparently people are mad right now. No, there's a, no, there is a, apparently there's a hoopla. Apparently there's a hoopla. Apparently the DOA community is mad at, apparently the DOA community is mad at Max, Maximilian dude, for his tribute to Itagaki. That is crazy, man. Apparently the DOA community is mad at Max. That's crazy, man. This is freaking crazy, apparently. Apparently, that's from what I'm seeing. Like, bro, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, I was seeing some posts like Max, I think I was seeing a video from Mike Hollow. Yeah, I was seeing a video from Mike Hollow. Yeah, he was talking about that. Apparently people are very mad at apparently people were mad at Max for yeah, for his tribute to Itagaki, just claiming that, you know, he was never a fan of DOA and shit like that. Well, do your research. Yes, he made a clip for years. You did not like his work. I appreciate Itagaki's work for having a hyper gameplay focused power named Viribles. Oh yeah, so we wanted to not admit that, so that the same thing, own up to it. Yeah, well, Max is a major Capcom fan. We've known that for years. I've been following him for years, so we all know that. It's just, it's very interesting, I gotta say. Speaking of which, people are posting advertisements for like DOA 2, and I gotta say, yeah, that was, those were better times, I gotta say. Max did nothing wrong. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It was interesting, but I gotta show you this, bro. I gotta show you this, man. Oh, hang on, let me bring this up. Full screen, look at this. This is an old advertisement for Dead or Alive 2, and I'm like, you know what? It's based. You know what? You know what? Maybe we do need to go back to that. Go back to those simpler times, man. We still have a raunchy. We still do have like a market for those kind of games. Of course, the gacha waifu games and such like that. Of course, the big jiggly waifu games that we play all the time on Peak Gaming. But yeah, man, those are simpler. Those are good times. Those are good times. I'm just saying that ad is wow. That ad is peak. That is Dreamcast right there, baby. That ad is peak Dreamcast right there. Oh, that's a hell of an ad, man. Raunchy as hell, man. Raunchy as hell. They were not raunchy as hell, and they did not apologize for that, which is really, really cool. So back in the day, that was back in the day. I gotta do some. I gotta make some. I do need to make some like art show off posts down the line. So today, so I got some Speaks for Starpunch posts too. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So like I said, I'm gonna keep like you said, those two stories, and then if there's any other stories. I'll compile some more stories today to see what we have for tomorrow's. So Ninja Gaiden. Speaking of DOA, speaking of DOA, Ninja Gaiden 4 launched on Steam with almost 10,000 concurrent players and very, very positive reviews. So hats off to Team Ninja for that. So it looks like it's doing pretty well for itself. So, and good on them, you know, launching it on PC, having it on PC on launch day, same day as console. So looks like Ninja Gaiden 4 looks like it might be a quote unquote return to form if it wasn't for $70 apparently. I would buy if it wasn't for $70. It had enough of $70 so you complete experiences. Yeah, well deserved. Bloodlines 2. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden, what, more players of Bloodlines, obviously. They forgot to add FPS to it. This is good stuff. It's good stuff. So I'll add that tomorrow as well. Dude, that's crazy. So a group of modders took Simpsons Hit and Run. If you guys remember the GTA style Simpsons Hit and Run, they modded it to Futurama. That is crazy. So there was a PC. So there's PC version. The PC version of Simpsons Hit and Run. Apparently, a group of modders made Simpsons Hit and Run to resemble Futurama and replaced it with Futurama, which is freaking cool. Say, that's cool though. That's dope. I'll show you the video. I'll show you the video. Just give me a. I'm gonna pull this up here. Let me pull this up. That is you know what? That is dope. I gotta say, that is dope. So I'll show you. This is the. I'm not gonna play the audio, but they took Simpsons Hit and Run and they basically just replaced all the assets with Futurama, that is freaking cool. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. And this is the PC version of Simpsons Hit and Run. That is crazy. Futurama Hit and Run. I love that. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. I gotta say. Oh, let's see this. 7 Deadly Sins closed beta starts on the 30th. 7 Deadly Sins closed beta starts on the 30th. People are going to Digimon, obviously. Yeah, man. So it looks like I got plenty of stuff to go over on tomorrow's Peak Gaming News Roundup. So I'll have a lot to go over, including Ninja Gaiden. It's really cool. 8 out of 10. So far it's got an 8 out of 10 IGN. Oh boy. PlayStation X says Sony can't keep increasing the graphics power with new consoles after tech plateau, but the PS5 has already made every game better. Shall we say you can't tell the difference between that and new tech? It's like, I feel like y'all wasted the processing power on the PS4, and the PS5 is just like, we've seen it all. It's not impressive. They're developing Xbox emulation for Ally and Windows devices. So backwards compatibility for Xbox console games, like a PC hybrid. Okay. 8% tax on violent video games from Mexico. Oh, what's this? Okay. EA will shut down The Sims Mobile on January 20th of next year. So the mobile Sims is bound to be shut down in a couple of months. So maybe they can. So it sounds like they might be. It sounds like they might be pushing all their work into Sims 4, but I know Mom Bear is very worried about that, though. I'll have to let her know that yeah, Sims Mobile is going to be shut down in about a couple of months, and this is where I think game preservation is very important. Sims Mobile, yeah. Sim City. Yeah. I would say make it offline compatible. You know? I would make it offline compatible at least. So that people who still own the Sims Mobile can at least play it after it's being shut down. And I think great game preservation is important. You know, they did shut out. Simpsons tapped out. Yeah. Oh, this this one right here. This one right here, Full Metal Schoolgirl, which is it's got Onichimbara. It's got it. We might play this. This looks interesting. Not gonna lie, this looks interesting though. Yeah. So Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is getting good reviews. Arc Raiders is getting Arc Raiders is doing better than Marathon. Like we can all unanimously agree that Arc Raiders is in the realm of the looter shooter, especially the first person looter shooter, especially the realm of the looter shooters. Arc Raiders succeeds Marathon. I think we can all agree on that one. They made decisions and we did vice versa. We couldn't compare it up. Let those places phase out. So the reception, yeah. Arc Raid is done for Marathon. It's still going, yeah. But this one we're covering. This one we are covering, and I did make a community post about this. Sucker Punch says, Ghost of Yote DLC will come down to community feedback. If the community wants it, they consider it. Now, here's my thing. This is what I made in the community post. If it comes down to community feedback, then doesn't that just allude to the fact that the game didn't sell as well? Now, I might be wrong, but people did agree with me on the fact that, and also brought the fact that Ghost of Tsushima had, what, the free Legends DLC, and then they had another DLC on top of that. But even then, it didn't do as, it wasn't, what was the comment? Sorry, I need to go back to the community post. I need to go back to the community post. Thank you guys so much, guys. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Yeah, so some people were saying, let me go through here the comments right now. Let's go through the comments here because there's some really good stuff here. So Darknet Me was saying, I think their target sales were not met or they broke even. Now they did make it profitable over the next year or more. It will go on sale if it hasn't already. I mean, in meantime, and if you don't hear any announcements between now and January, then likely no DLC. And then Lamau respond, and let's be real here, Yote selling more copies than Tsushima on the first few days is not selling a lot. The first game's marketing was quite subdued compared to Yote, and being a new IP from Sony and games journalists were too busy jerking off to Neil Druckmann and Last of Us 2 to pay any attention to it, and that's referring to Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima had 2 DLCs. One for free, no questions asked. This is a big departure from that. Yeah, this game didn't do nearly as well as it seemed. If you go by the previous game's DLC, it was never dependent on sales numbers or community, so yes, you could interpret it as it didn't sell that well. I also assume that if it did sell well, DLC would be added to the profit margins. It's very interesting. We're going to cover this. I'm going to cover this for the news roundup tomorrow. Oh, it's just, I found it very interesting about this. Like, if players wanted it, then wouldn't that mean that the game just did not do as hot as Sony and Sucker Punch would have wanted? So I don't know. Like, I was seeing another community post about that, and there were quote tweets about people really excited about wanting more DLC and such like that. So I don't know. From what I'm seeing, it's just what I'm seeing. I don't think what I'm seeing, if they're relying on fan feedback and community feedback for DLC, and that being a departure from Ghost of Tsushima, then wouldn't that mean that it wouldn't be selling that well then? Despite what other people are saying, that the game did sell well. Like, I was looking at like Jay Viper was one of the 4 people to bring that up to really get in depth with the sales numbers, and so did Ademion and even Smash. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, I think the news articles, because the first news articles was like, Ghost of Yote sold over like 1 million or like 2 million copies, but that came from an unverified source. And so far, Sucker Punch has not, Sony nor Sucker Punch has really given out, the big, sales figures, other than like breaking like 1 million in sales within the first week, getting to 1 million sales faster than Ghost of Tsushima. But then again, is that really saying much compared to, but is that saying much though? That's the thing. So I don't know. I'm gonna go in depth with this on tomorrow, because I think this is very, very interesting regarding the situation with Ghost of Yote. So, but yeah, this one right here, I'm definitely gonna go into tomorrow. Is the whole Power World situation with Pokemon Legends ZA, because people are seeing Pokemon Legends ZA as what it is. Slop. Absolute slop. Or say Pokemon Legends EA for slop, and that really it's like it's Nintendo's install fan base that are the most excited about it. But just because you can just sell this on name alone, and I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's not. I just look at it as like it's not slop. Okay. Riot Kitty. Okay, Riot Kitty. Fair point. Understood. It's just. You would think that with they got the much as they got in with ZA, that they would with ZA, that they would put a little more effort into their game. I've already seen people lie about ZA and everything, ZA and everything. Okay. We'll look into it. It's just I'll look into it more. All right. So if you could provide me further information on this, Riot Kitty, I really appreciate that. So, and I'll go off from that. It's just from what I'm seeing. Just from what I'm seeing, okay? Just from what I'm seeing. Just not, it's just crazy. So Riot Kitty, do me a favor. Because you're in the CSF Nation Discord. Can you if you have any further information that you want me to add to tomorrow's news roundup, put it in the Discord and I'll make sure to cite you, okay? Appreciate that. The hypocrisy with ZA and Digimon Time Story is ludicrous to the point people say they do not cost the same. What's the pricing for? Okay, let me check. Standard edition is $59.99. The Switch 2 edition is $70. The DLC is $30. The upgrade pack is $9.99. Okay. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is standard is $70. The deluxe is $100, and the ultimate is $120. Jesus. Okay then, we're gonna have to look into it. Okay then. Okay. You know what? It's gonna be interesting. That is going to be interesting. Okay. All right. Looks like I'm gonna do some research. Looks like I'm gonna need to do some research. Okay. Riot Kitty, if you could provide some more information on that in the Discord, I will cite you big time. Okay. So if you could, I'd greatly appreciate it, and I'll look into it myself. It's the pricing, yeah. The pricing is definitely different. Not Time Stranger, people are not continuing the continuity. Yeah, exactly. What's included in the $120 edition? For the Ultimate Edition, is probably, I assume, is the whole season pass. The base game, season pass, and additional cosmetic BGM packs. Which long story short, that shit should be, that shit is way too pricey though for an Ultimate Edition though. But it's just, oh man, it's just crazy, man, just crazy. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. We are going to wrap this up. Listen, thank y'all so much. Let's wrap this up. I'm gonna do some research today for tomorrow, so I need to make sure to do some research for tomorrow. Listen, thank you guys so much. If you guys can smack that like button, make it jiggle, smash the subscribe button, make it jiggle, all that good stuff. I'm gonna continue working on this Morrigan piece, and then I probably should have the grayscale. I'm gonna try to get all the grayscales done today. I'm gonna try to get all the grayscales done and see if I can get the flats up and ready today. Yes, thank you to everybody in the Q Sexy Foundation. Join the channel. Thank you to all my new channel members. Big ups to all you guys. Follow me on Newgrounds, Etsy Shop, Twitter, links in the description, obviously. And we'll be back tomorrow for our peak gaming news roundup. So we'll have a lot to, it seems that we are going to have a lot to go over, and I'm probably going to need to do some research, especially when it comes to pricing and comparisons here. It's very interesting that, you know, bringing up the whole thing with power and such like that. So if you guys can provide me any further information for that for tomorrow, I will make sure to add it to the news roundup. So Riot Kitty, I know you're still here. Make sure if you have any further information you want me to put in for tomorrow morning segment, put it in the Discord. I'll make sure to check there before we go live, so that way I'm not gonna make sure we don't forget anything. Okay? All right. Anyway, that is it for me. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm Makini, yours, Sherman Illustrated, and thank you for tuning in to the Tuesday edition of Makini in the Morning. Until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, and take care. Much love, never apologize for wanting to interact with women in your media, especially in video games. Say no to censorship, pick up the bloody mic. Just be kind, be excellent to each other, and above all else, never stop drawing. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, guys. I'll make some posts on the community tab later. Until then, I love y'all. Peace.
Cute, sexy, and fun. And that is definitely the best way to describe our channel members too. We'd like to thank everyone in the CSF Nation for your incredible support. Join the channel for as low as $1 a month to get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members. And all your support goes to helping out the channel and helping Makini put out the best content he can for you all to view and you all to enjoy. He appreciates all of your support, and we also appreciate your support as well. CSF Nation for life. Mwah! Gracias. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the Morning and getting your morning started up on the right foot with us. If you enjoy this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle. Share the show out to everyone you know. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. Become a channel member for as low as $1 a month if you want to support Makini further, and if you want to help Makini reach his 4K subscriber goal, hit that subscribe button. You'll definitely will not regret it. I am Mary Salatelli, producer and weather girl for this very program, and we all want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. We will see you all next time here on Makini in the Morning. Mwah! Makini in the Morning is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's South Tower, right in the heart of Pacific City. Would you like free tickets to the next Makini in the Morning live show? Of course you do. All you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free. Won't want to pass up on free tickets. For written transcripts, please send $5 to Lucky Negro Transcripts at P.O. Box 425, Palmetto Valley, CSF Nation. in the Morning is produced by Silver Nine Productions with Makini Draws Productions in association with Inisla Lockhart Television and Makira Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.